Hey everyone, and welcome back to another episode. And this episode, I'm going to do something a little bit different. What I wanted to do was take a look. I looked up recently all the releases that were coming out for the next few months. And what I want to do with this video was just cover September and October. Now I'm not going to cover every single release that's coming out, but I'm definitely going to highlight, the big ones, the big releases, because in recent memory, I've never seen like these next 2 months, especially October, that is just loaded. And from the first week to the very end of the month, it's ridiculous. Especially October 5th. But I'll talk about that when I get to that particular day, because that's going to be a day that's going to hit me pretty hard in the wallet, because I have quite a few things pre-ordered. But again, this is not something I usually go and I talk about, release dates. But this is just crazy. Just crazy. I mean, right off the bat, when you're looking at, there's still some releases coming this month. But look at, September 7th, okay? We have the Star Trek collection, original cast on 4K. 4-film collection featuring Star Trek The Motion Picture, Wrath of Khan, Search for Spock, and The Voyage Home. Now, I would be all over that set, but we are missing 2 films with the original cast members that I don't know why they're not being included, in this, why they're not included within that set. I have no idea, but it's kind of interesting. Like, why would you just go with those 4? And they're good films, those 4, but I definitely would like to have seen. It definitely would have been an upgrade for me if it had been all 6 of those films. So maybe eventually down the line we will get another collection with all 6 films. Now the thing, John Carpenter's classic with Kurt Russell himself, the man, 4K, and we get a 4K Steelbook as well with that release. Now, Alfred Hitchcock, we get Rear Window. We also get Vertigo. Now both of these are going to be released. They've already been on the Alfred Hitchcock 4K collection, but this is going to be individual releases, both on 4K, and they're both going to get Steelbook editions as well. So, September 7th is pretty loaded with some really good releases, and of course, we can't forget for this guy right here, September 7th, Zack Snyder's Justice League comes to the US with a US release. Yeah, I know, I did a video a few months ago when I got the UK release. Since then, I've sold the UK release because I found out that this one was coming out, and I had the Steelbook pre-ordered, obviously, through Best Buy. And yeah, I'm just a sucker. I will just keep on buying these things over and over and over again. Take my money, Warner Brothers, when it comes to all your DC releases. Now, September 14th, this is an interesting one, because what we do is we get 2 from, again, there are, like I said, there are other releases, on these days, but I'm just highlighting some of the ones that really caught my attention for being released. Now, Black Widow still is supposed to be released on September 14th. Now, Blu-ray.com, they did show a picture of the Steelbook. Now, that will probably be a Best Buy exclusive. So that one, I'm going to have to do a little more diving into after I'm done making this video, because that one is a pre-order, #1 pre-order for me, especially Steelbook. I have to get it. And yeah, that's definitely going to be a day 1 purchase. Hopefully, we'll keep that September 14th release date. Now, this other one that's interesting, I know this film might not be, on top of everybody's list for 4K, but Hansel and Gretel. Now, this has, Jeremy Renner in it as, and I enjoy this film quite a bit. It's corny in certain things. Gemma Arrington's in this as well. She plays Gretel. But I enjoyed it, and I think it's fun. And it's getting a 4K release. Now, the reason I mentioned this, this goes back a few weeks ago. Amazon actually, when this first went up for pre-order, Amazon had this listed at $8. Yes, $8.49 for a brand new 4K on release day. Needless to say, I pre-ordered that as quickly as possible. And of course, since then, Amazon has gone ahead and canceled my order. with no explanation, other than the fact that they found out that they made an error on their website, and they've since then raised the price to $21.99. But, I'm still a sucker. I went back and I pre-ordered it once again. But I kind of hate that. Like, I would have loved to have made a brand new 4K for $8.49. Amazon. But September 21st. Now, here's an interesting one. Cruella. I enjoy Cruella. Now, will it be a day one purchase for me? Probably not. But eventually down the line, I will pick it up. Now, this one gets just a boatload of releases. We have a standard release, for 4K and on Blu-ray. We have a Blu-ray release with Cruella, as well as the original 101 Dalmatians animated movie. We also have a Target exclusive. We have a Best Buy Steelbook. And the Steelbook for Best Buy is quite nice. It is quite nice. But I don't know. When it gets closer, will I pull the trigger? You never know. With me, you just never know. Now, Fast and Furious 9, that will also be getting released on September 21st. Honestly, I've only seen like 2 films in the entire Fast series. Even though I have the Blu-ray set. But I never got a chance to really, dive in and watch all of them. But for the right price, I definitely will probably pick up Fast 9 to add to the collection. Now, I Dream of Jeannie. We're getting a classic television series on 4K. So, who knows? I mean, like I said, a while back, I picked up, the Munsters complete series. I still don't think that's ever going to get a release on, on Blu-ray. But for I Dream of Jeannie to get a Blu-ray release for the complete series, that's a pretty big deal, for classic television. That's a big, big deal. We also get Unbreakable. Now, Unbreakable is going to be released on 4K and as well as get a Best Buy Steelbook exclusive. Now, I guess I had to make a note because there's just so many releases. I had to write everything down. Now, September 28th, we get a little bit of, we can kind of relax a little bit because we have the Forever Purge that comes out as well as 3 from Hell. Rob Zombie's 3 from Hell on 4K. Forever Purge also Blu-ray release and 4K for that one. Now, this is what I was talking about, guys. October 5th. October 5th. Yeah. Now, October 5th, we have an Audrey Hepburn 7-film movie collection. Regular standard Blu-ray. But again, that's going to be a big release for a lot of, classic movie lovers. And, Audrey Hepburn, she's pretty good, too. Roman Holiday is also coming out, and I have that written down as well. That's getting released on October 5th as well, with her and Gregory Peck. I've started watching that, and I have to finish it. It's on Amazon Prime. I really need to finish watching that, because it was enjoyable from what where I had a chance, to watch. I definitely got to go back and check that one out. Now, Elvira's Haunted Hills. Everybody who's been holding on to your DVDs for the last few years because it's out of print and the price has gone up, well, now Scream Factory has brought the movie out, and the price is $27.99. Not terrible, it's standard, standard Scream Factory, Shout Factory price. This guy here, I haven't pre-ordered, but you already knew I would have a pre-order. We also get, now here's a big one, Halloween 1, 2, 3, Season of the Witch. I know it has gotten its following over the past few years, but I will not be picking it up. No Michael Myers, no buy for this guy. That is the absolute truth. So I have pre-ordered Halloween 1, 2, and 4 and 5 on 4K. Now, Season of the Witch, yeah, granted, maybe I should give it another watch one of these days. But you really have to twist my arm to watch it. It's just one of those films. It's, I had it on I know, not to go off topic, but I had it on VHS years back. Had it on VHS. I'm like, it's Halloween. I like Halloween. How bad can it be? I should have burned that VHS. Should have burned it, okay? I'm just going to leave it at that. Should have burned it. So, needless to say, I will not be picking up the 4K on that one. Now, what else do we have as far as The Hunt for Red October is coming out on 4K? Again, this is still all October 5th. The Middle Earth Collection. This is have The Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and all the appendages. But Is it going to hold that release date? I don't know, because there's, like I said, there's so many things coming out. Now here's an interesting one from Warner Brothers, Night of the Animated Dead. It's a retelling of George Romero's classic, my beloved Night of the Living Dead, but in an animated form. I have it pre-ordered. But again, I don't need to tell you guys. You know I have it pre-ordered. Now, Relic is going to be out. I haven't seen it in a long time, but the price is right. I will grab it. Roman Holiday, like I mentioned. Now, here's one that I mentioned back when I was talking about the Resident Evil set. I'm like, come on, Sony, give it to us. And that's the Underworld Collection on 4K. Yeah, it's coming out, and I'm so excited for that one. Now, Universal Monsters Collection on 4K as well is coming out. And that basically for the big releases, that's October 5th. That is huge. That is an enormous, enormous day. And anybody who's into horror, that is just going to destroy your pockets. Believe me, your wallet is going to be destroyed. Credit cards maxed out, including this guy probably. I can't wait. There's going to be a lot of goodies coming. If everything holds to those dates and everything gets here on time, that's going to be a really big release day. October 12th, we have Inglourious Basterds 4K coming out. We have the 90s Superman animated series. I can't wait. It's going to go great with the Batman animated series from the 90s, and I'm looking forward to really getting my hands on that one. We also have Misery on 4K, which I've never seen Misery. I definitely want to check it out though, and maybe I will pop for the 4K on that one. Now, here's an interesting one from Scream Factory that I just saw this announced the other day, and it caught me off guard. Here's a movie that just creeped me out, and I could not get it out of my head when I was younger, and that is Deadly Friend. Christy Swanson, the original Buffy, is in this film, and I just remember it used to just haunt me, this movie, when I saw this when I was younger. And I don't know if I don't know if the movie holds up. Anybody who's seen it, you know how it ends. It has a really weird, twisted ending to it. I just don't know if I want to take a chance of revisiting that and having all those flashbacks and all those memories come back. I don't know. I just don't know, but I have it written down here as a possibility. I just don't know. October 19th. Now, here's an interesting one. Demons 1 and 2 getting 4K releases and standard Blu-ray releases. Demons is an interesting one. It is. It's one of those films, it's a horror. It's one of those horror, the first film is good. The second film, not too bad. It's definitely not as good as the first one. Will I pick it up? It depends on the price. It really is going to depend on the price. And something that I definitely need to revisit. Some of these films I need to revisit to really see whether or not they're still worth picking up. But Demons is definitely a big release, for horror fans on October 19th. Maniac Cop 2 and 3. I have not seen any of the Maniac Cop films, but I know the first one's on 4K, and the second and third one are getting 4K releases as well. Now, for October 19th, I would say this is the big one. This is definitely the big one. Scream is getting a 4K release and also getting a Steelbook release as well. Silence of the Lambs is going to be on 4K as well. I don't see any kind of Steelbook announced for that just yet. Snake Eyes will be coming out on 4K, and that has a Steelbook as well through Best Buy. That one, I don't know if I'm going to... Again, I don't know if it's going to be a day one purchase. I will be adding it to the collection at some point, but I just don't know if it's going to be a day one pickup for me. Now, here's one I definitely want to pick up, but the price is kind of high right now, and that's the Smallville collections. The entire complete series of Smallville on Blu-ray for the very first time. Some of the seasons were put out on Blu-ray, but not the entire series. So this one is, I think, hanging around $160 right now, which again isn't a bad price. I don't know if it's if I'm ready to pull the trigger on something like that, especially considering how much is available in October. Now, October 25th, it's an interesting day for that date because Old is scheduled for a Blu-ray release. I don't see anything for 4K, but it's still scheduled for October 25th, which is not a normal release date. So I don't know if it's just getting a special release on its own. I don't know. Now, October 25th, October 26th, excuse me. Deep Red, Dario Argento's Deep Red is coming out, as well as Dusk Till Dawn on 4K. Now, Deep Red setup is going to be on 4K as well. So, again, this is going to be a loaded schedule of films for the next 2 months, and it's going to be absolutely crazy. It's September. Maybe you can kind of skirt by with, not spend too much money, but if you're a big time horror fan, October is definitely going to be an interesting month. Just keeping going back to October 5th, there's an interesting release that I have pre-ordered. It's a Kino Lorber release. It has Elizabeth Montgomery in it, from Bewitched, Samantha from Bewitched, and it was a made-for-television film called Victim, back from 1972. And I'm not going to talk too much about it because that is one that I did pre-order because I found it online, and because it's available through YouTube. You can watch the film. It's good. It's definitely, for being a made-for-television film, it has some pretty good atmosphere. But it's one that I want to go back and revisit and talk about, in a video when it actually does come out. But yeah, I just want to come on here because, like I said, this is not something I'm going to do all the time where I'm going to talk about things that are coming out for the month. But these next 2 months, like I said, they're loaded, front to back. It's incredible just how much is coming out. I've never seen schedules, especially like I said, that October 5th, never seen anything like it, in recent memory for releases. It's just crazy. And it's going to be fun, but it's also going to be, like I said, it's going to be tough on the wallet. Hands down. It's going to be very, very interesting. So, like, subscribe, and comment if you get the chance, and I'll catch you in another video. Take care.